Welcome to another edition of Entrepreneurs in Fuego. We're documenting the journey of incredible entrepreneurs. With me, I have Miles Beccia, Mind Muscle. I mean, you're my hero, man. I'm telling you, you're a world class fitness and nutrition coach. And when I say world class, it's really world class because you've been all over the planet, man.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. Yeah. You have a distinct ability to convey your message in such a way that is sustainable. And the hardest part about any kind of nutrition fitness plan is the sustainability, right? I mean, you could be
true.
fit. After I go through you 30 days, I'm feeling good and everything else, and then I kind of give myself permission to be bad, and that's where the wheels come off. But you kind of breach that, and you make people accountable and sustainable.
Well, it's a very good point there that I've always worked to simplify the complexity of whether it's physical fitness and how the body works and the science of the body, or the nutrition, the digestive system, how we need to pattern what we're doing, because there's so much information. And I've gone through the mill on all of them, from when I first became certified in 1991 all the way through college and into training people. So I've really worked on simplifying, worked on the process of making sure that you understand everything, and then that you can follow this pattern ongoing. And that's again why I have clients that call me up or email me or get back in the program after even being off years or even decades. I've had people come back into the program, but they still remember the things that were brought to them, that were taught to them, that they understood about how their body works inside.
And that's the difference, right? I mean, you have to be able to educate someone about how their body works, what is good for you, what is bad for you, and at least having that knowledge, then you're able to make that choice of having the bad food or the good food, knowing what the consequences are going to be.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we even talked about previously, was that it's in the education of it. It's in the understanding that knowledge. So you just don't change a habit in 21 days or 28 days or even 2 months. It takes knowledge. It takes persistence and dedication to accomplish anything. Whether it's a successful business or whether it's changing your health or any of these things.
When did you realize that you're very good at what you do? When did you realize that you can transform the talent that you have, the education that you have, into a business? Because this is, after all, a show about entrepreneurship and your journey.
Yeah, that's a great question. And I had, when I was still very, so I was, like 21 years old, and I had gone through that process of where I had broken both legs. I had to recover from that, and then going on to the sports teams again, I had no ability to run the same or play the sports the same. So I was very focused and had a lot of frustrations and setbacks.
Because you had been an athlete all your life.
Yeah, up until when I broke my legs at age 13. So at that point, from those frustrations of not being able to golf again and not being able to play baseball again, I just really focused on learning what I needed to do to overcome that, because there was nobody around to teach, how to get back in shape, so you can get back into become a competitive athlete. So at about the time I was 21, and I had just gone through a course for my first personal training certification from the facility that I was working at the time, and so I knew I was going to go in that path because I was already working for somebody. But then I knew I had more to share when my grandfather's oldest brother came up to me, and he was a captain of his collegiate hockey team, and he came up to me at 90 years old and said, "I want to get in shape better because I'm doing this walking now, but I don't want to hunch over. I want to be able to stand up tall." And
he's 90 years old.
90 years old, and he's asking me what he can do to stand up tall and to get in shape for his upper body, because he's been healthy with his lower body. So I said, well, all right, I need to be able to teach this to him. I can teach what I've done so far to other people. And of course, I wasn't even through my journey yet. I still a year or two after that, started actually full-time collegiate sports. So I achieved my dream of being competitive in football and indoor and outdoor track as I finished college. But it was in that process I knew that I had more to share, so much to share, and I could provide so much value to people.
And then you decided, well, I can make this into my lifelong
so
dream and business.
After college, my friends and I started up a fitness center and training studio, and started to share the message. And it's evolved a lot since then, obviously.
Indeed, and then at some point, you, of course, when you're starting your business, you're like, there's so many other fitness training facilities out there. I have to make myself distinct.
It was.
How did you achieve that?
Well, it does. It was already sort of there because people were coming because they wanted to find out more knowledge.
Right.
So it wasn't just a place to go where everybody's doing, the treadmill, or everybody's doing some classes. They were coming because they really wanted to understand more about what they can do to learn about their body. So that was what sort of separated everything, because it wasn't just a place to go in and go through a routine.
Right.
You can go in and go through a plan, and you can go just about anywhere.
Anywhere.
But people are coming in and repeating and coming back consistently all the time because they're learning about what they're doing inside, what their body's doing, and gaining more knowledge.
And so that knowledge, then, how do you grow the business from that point on? Was it word of mouth? Did you start using social media? Did you start doing, how did you grow the business?
At that time, which is similarities to now, is that, when people come in and they have a certain type of feel, and they have a certain type of understanding about what you're trying to do for them, then it markets itself. You know what I mean? It really just, people want to spread the word because they're learning, they're engaged, they're appreciating what and I'm always been so grateful to provide it to them, that knowledge and that education. But then they're coming back because they understand this. They're gaining more.
A lot of the errors that we make, and I include myself, is that we think that by the fact that we go to the gym and we have maybe 45 minutes to an hour of some resistance training, that gives us the license to, at night, just go out there and have the big
You get hungry, right? Is that what you're saying? You get hungry. Yeah. I say, don't work out too hard. You're going to be so hungry after.
It's all about attitudes, right? It's all about going back to the education.
Part of it is.
Part of it, right?
It really is, because you do. There's a very distinct thing that says, oh, go work out hard and you're going to get in shape.
Right.
When you go work out hard, you get hungry. So there's in fact, in the nutrition programs for people who are trying to reduce their body weight, it's very important to actually limit the amount of output you do, because you don't want to get hungry. You just don't want to use you can't simultaneously reduce your calories you're taking in and try to gain extra exercise.
And it's counterintuitive, right?
It is. You can't gain in your physical capacity at the same time you're reducing your calories.
Is there a secret to maintaining a healthy lifestyle and to sustain that lifestyle and to be as fit as you are?
Well, there partly is a secret, and again, we touched on this briefly before, and that's, it's not looking at it as a lifestyle, because each individual life has their own working through, like what you do for work is different from somebody else, and what they do for their business. And so it's the culture, it's the community, so your culture has to be like, I'm going to learn, I'm going to engage with other people that are going to be, doing the same thing. Very similar things with developing the business, and having it grow and having it go on in Fuego is because you're putting yourself in a culture that is engaged in the same thing, learning, growing, practicing what they're doing, not just talking about it, right? Or just actually, doing it and getting involved in it. So.
And that is a very interesting point. There's a difference between a lifestyle and the culture. and you foster and you promote the cultural change.
Yeah.
Because that's the community, that's the support, that's something that is going to really take you the rest of your life.
That's right. That's right. That's how you've gotten involved in something that you can feel good about. Because isn't that what it means? You should feel good about what you're doing.
Yeah.
So if you just will go, beat yourself up at the gym, let's say, and if you go to the fitness center, you're like, oh, well, I don't really feel good about this, So maybe it should be just balancing what you eat and playing, a sport, playing volleyball on Friday nights or Wednesdays and Friday nights, because you don't have to go to the gym if you're eating right and you're just getting the physical activity.
Right.
So you have to feel good. You have to feel good about it. You could just be in in that different culture.
Do you have a guilty pleasure? Food-wise, man.
Food, okay. Food, no, I do. Of course. Well, is it really? I don't really have any guilt because I trust myself. I understand myself. I know what I can do and what I can't do. So in understanding what I can and can't do and the things, I certainly like certain things. I like chocolate cake or whatever. But it's not. I don't place any guilt on it because it doesn't have to be attached to that type of feeling. It does not have to have that feeling.
And that's all part of that cultural change and that cultural mentality.
Correct. Yep.
Dr. Miles, man, you're my new hero, man. You're my new best friend, man. Look at that. You're just a fit man. Thanks, man. I appreciate you coming in here.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. With that, we're out.